Hey, good morning. It's the 20th of January, 2023 already. My gosh, this year is just flying by. And I've spent most of it struggling with my Power Pro headstock. And I like to put in a disclaimer because I don't want anybody to think I'm looking for sympathy or because hey, I'm 81 years old. I've had a really good life. I still can move around. It's not easy. In July of 1966, on the 22nd actually, I took a huge fall. Ladder went out from under me while I was refueling the T-29 at Mather Air Force Base, and it did severe damage to the spine and unfortunately to the nerves. And over the years it got to the point that I literally have lost over 50% of the nerve function from the waist down, and the 50% that remain that have any function at all tested at less than 50%. So it's difficult for me to walk. It's kind of like taking your first step. Again, I'm in good shape compared to a lot of the guys and gals I go down to see at the VA. So again, but it does limit what I can do. And you just don't ever get used to that, you know? You just kind of wake up in the morning thinking, no, I can't do that. So I can't lift very much weight. I had bladder cancer surgery in November of 2020, and that just, the body just seems to never totally recover from that. So it limits what I can do, but here's the other side of this thing. I get compensation from the VA 100%. And that is meant to allow me to have someone else do the things I can't do. That's what it's for. And I had a message from Shopsmith. I received an email from them. And basically what they asked me to do was they're concerned, and they asked me to return the QUILL. Well, I've already changed the bearings in the QUILL. And then this morning when I got up, my back was hurting me so bad, and this is the first time I've had to take ibuprofen in a long time, but I don't know if I slept wrong or maybe picking up the universal rest, which I shouldn't have done. I may have twinged something, so I don't know. Anyway, I watched Doug REID this morning as he demonstrated the Power Pro head. And it does things mine doesn't do, and he told me it should do things that mine doesn't do. And the one thing, of course, is the vibrations and the noise when it first starts up, like there's something really bad in the back end of it. And Scott with my growth rings, of course, said, hey, you need to change that one piece. And I've ordered it. But then I started looking into what it's going to take to take this apart, and I was looking for videos, and I spent 2 hours this morning. I watched Dave with Shopsmith. I watched every video I could find on Shopsmith, and there's nothing on Mark V I can take apart and put together. There's videos for all that, but there's nothing for the Power Pro. And along with the physical disabilities, I've also been diagnosed with acute depression, but I'm just too bullheaded to let it take me down. But it does have problems where its self-confidence is kind of iffy sometimes, and this is one of those times. I've kind of decided that, and I sent a message to Shopsmith this morning. It's Saturday, so they won't see it till Monday, and I'm sure they'll get back to me. I have the bearings I took off the QUILL. I have them in a bag. And I've decided that two things. One is, I don't think the computer is working correctly. While turning the end of a block of wood, I used a carbide cutter as a parting tool, and it jammed. And theoretically, if the system thinks that there's too much torque, it shuts down. Well, it didn't do that. It locked up, and the belts were squealing all around the pulleys, and I had to turn the machine off. So I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. I'm hoping maybe one of you that have the Power Pro can say, yeah, that's what it does. It's not supposed to stop. But Doug Reed said it is, so, and that's my biggest source. Then this morning I was watching Dave with Shopsmith doing the demonstration on it, and that guy he could sell ice to Eskimos. But anyway, it's a good presentation. He really demonstrated just how great the Shopsmith is and how versatile it is and how easy it is to go from step to step. But what I've decided to do is, I got this part coming in for the Shopsmith. I've got the bearings in a bag. I'm going to send the entire headstock back to Shopsmith and ask them to do diagnostics and see if they can fix it. And if it's going to cost me money to fix it, if the parts that need to be replaced need to be replaced, I'm sure they're going to charge me. And again, I get compensation to have people do what I can't do or just what I lack the confidence to do. And I got to tell you, I was an aircraft maintenance technician. I have built a 3,400 square foot home. I had 1,500 square feet onto a house. I rebuilt from the keel up a 1947 25-foot express cruiser, Chris Craft, called the Red and White, and I have a video on my website if you'd like to see that. And I used the Shopsmith for a lot of it with the Mark V head. I didn't get my Power Pro until just a few years ago, 4 years ago I guess. And then I couldn't use it for a couple of years because of my health, and then I'm finally using it now. But I believe in Shopsmith. I've done a lot of work with my Shopsmith. I went through the academy. I went through the sawdust sessions years ago, back in the early 80s before they stopped doing that. It convinced me I needed a Shopsmith. I had the table saw, I had the 6-inch joiner, I had all the tools I needed, band saws and stuff, but I was limited in my space, and I thought this is a really good tool. My friend had one. He's the one that got me interested in it, and I've had it, and I love it. I've upgraded it to a 510, to a 520, to the Power Pro. I rebuilt, I built basically a 510. I have a video on that too, and then ended up selling that with the old Mark V headstock that I had off my original machine, which I put in the double bearing quill. So anyway, today what I'm doing is, let me show you, because I'm getting prepared to do this. So on the subject of bearings, I've run a lot of boards through this guy over the years. I mean a lot of boards. Some very, very long. I built an extension for the fence. I've taken it down, but you can hear that. These bearings are gone. They're bad. And the last time I used it, it was screaming at me. And it also, even though the blades had been sharpened, it left a chatter in it. So I'm going to take this off. I've got the holders for the blades in this bag. I've got the fence over here. I'm going to put all that together. I haven't taken off haven't removed the shield, the safety shield yet. But I'm going to I'm going to put this on the table. I have my son-in-law help me because I can't lift it and move. I can lift it, but I can't walk with it for fear of falling down. So I'll have him help me out with that. And I've seen videos on this, and it doesn't look all that complicated, but if I have a problem getting the bearings off, which I don't think I will, but if I do, I'll just send them out. I've got new bearings for it, and have them install the bearings for me. It's at a point, you know, where it's kind of nice to have these people, all these guys that have been giving me advice and helping me out, and I love it. And but sometimes you just got to know your limits, and I think I've just discovered mine. So while that's being done, since I'm losing the use of my hands because of the nerve damage in my neck from the fall, I think I'll go ahead and schedule the injections, and if they fail, go ahead and do the surgery and see how much we can salvage out of this. And again, no sympathy, guys. I've done a lot of things a lot of people dream of, and life's good. But you just got to do what you can do and know what you can't do and know when to go ask for help and get help. So thanks for watching. Leave comments. I'd appreciate it. Have a good day.